on the other side.
Now presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Yay! Hi, everybody. It's me, Erik. I'm a little beaten up lately. I got to tell everybody I have to put all scalar energy work on hold until they pour cement in my backyard next week. It's just too hard. They dug up 3 ancient burial grounds. I'm just waiting to see the bodies. And so the whatever has come out of that, it's making my life a living hell, biting me, bending my left thumb backwards and spraining it, giving me a black eye. I mean, it's just pinching me and scratching me. And everything takes too long, and I get to where I'm just reduced to tears. So I have to wait until they seal it. I've thrown tourmaline stones. I've sealed it, and they dig it up, and they have to seal it again. And it's just not worth it. Sorry. But anyway, the main thing I really want to say is today's show we're honored to have Jen Ward, who has such a fascinating story that I found out when I interviewed her via Zoom. I think it's going to be on YouTube pretty soon if it's not already. Anyway, she is a very dynamic healer, an executive coach, and a group facilitator, and she has just had such an amazing earth angel typical life. She's devoted her life to helping others. She's just truly an absolute quintessential humanitarian, and she helps people unlock their true potential, which is what it is just such a gift. She's the author of 19 freaking books. Can you believe that? But anyway, I got Michelle Gray, the medium, as my co-host, and you can reach her at thehealing-art.com. I said it right? And, of course, Jen, you will give your information toward the end as well. But, yes, story. It's movie-worthy. You can make it short.
Okay, well, before I say any of that, can I just let you know that on my YouTube channel, I just did a session with someone. Who I did the exorcism taps for.
Oh.
So you don't even have to do them, Elisa. You can have your viewers go onto my website on the YouTube page and go into those taps on the exorcism.
Oh, wow.
And do the taps for you and your yard. So please clear Elisa for her. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. You take out all the drama, all the fear, all the emotion, and you just strip it down, and it's done. Anybody can release these energies now. Give them a rest.
Oh, God, yes, please. Oh, it gave me a rest, too.
Yes, you deserve that.
That's awesome. Yes, if anybody can do that, please do. All right, well, go for it. The mic is yours. The stage is yours. We're just honored to have you and hear everything you have to offer and your story, etc. Whatever you'd like to share, we're there.
Okay, so thank you. So I spent this lifetime being a lot of wonderful people, being abused and humiliated and demoralized to the breaking point almost. But it was just beautiful because that's the compassion that breaks through to help everyone. And I've been in these spiritual groups where they make you feel bad about yourself, like you don't know what you're talking about, and they make you know the type. You guys know the type, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
So the adults who've helped me survive this lifetime, they helped me develop this protocol where any individual can gain their own empowerment by doing these SFT taps. And it's like tapping into your mind like a 3D printer, and you command your own empowerment. Because I don't know if I told you guys, did you guys know I'm a Sangoma as well?
What is that?
What? Yeah, what is that?
So I was told years ago, before I went away and was locked up and tortured on their property, that I was a Sangoma, which is a traditional African shaman. And they channel their ancestors and they make the noises and stuff. And they use bones as kind of like runes and stuff. So what was really interesting is I was collecting wishbones at the time, and I didn't even realize that I was collecting bones. And then, but there's 2 prerequisites to being a Sangoma. You have to you have to survive the brink of death and bring yourself back, and you
Wow.
have to take life. So when I was on the property, starved and tortured by the sociopath, he almost starved me to death. And when I came back from that, I almost died, and I thought I was a retarded boy, and I thought I was lost to the world. But I pulled myself back from that. So that was one prerequisite to being a Sangoma. And when I was on the property, he didn't like that the animals loved me so much, and he actually made me hurt animals and take animal life. I know it's horrible, but the redeeming quality of that is I didn't realize it was a prerequisite for being a Sangoma.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now it makes sense why I did that. Because, anyways,
Wow.
So that's part of the story.
God, all right. Well, keep on. It gets even better. So cool.
Well, the intensity. So here's the thing. Anything that has happened in the human condition, anything that someone's been through in their lifetimes, or they're feeling the shame or whatever, and they feel like no one can understand them, I've actually experienced it in this lifetime. And I can match that vibration in them. Like when we do a private session, I can go to the vibration of whatever they think they're ashamed of or abandoned or God hates them or whatever, and I can match that vibration with them, and I'm like a damp sponge who can like sop up their energy and pull them up to higher consciousness in one session. It's just really, I'm so grateful for it. Yeah. So, So I'm getting a sense of the listeners, and there's a lot of, I don't know, current events, but there's a lost girl somewhere. Is that something you're connected to, Michelle, is finding lost girls who were trafficked or murdered or something?
Actually, I have a very close friend, my best friend, that is very connected to women on the street. And I was with her today.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, I don't specialize in that, but there's a lost one coming through right now, and
Wow.
So what I get a sense of, she was taken as a teenager, and she's now, maybe she is alive still. I don't know what I'm seeing, but she's telling you she is alive, and she does want to be found, but she's confused. So consciously, she doesn't know how to be found, but your friend might know of the story. It's like someone who was lost as a teenager and they don't know what happened to her. Yeah, I'm getting chills now. She's saying, and she's a little bit overweight. She's top heavy and a little bit like she doesn't feel good about her body. She feels like frumpy and unloved and everything, but she wants to be found. So does that make sense?
Wow.
I feel it's very poignant that you would say that today. So yeah.
Can I do a release and help her get found? Because
certainly, we'll demonstrate what we do. I think that's a great idea.
Please.
So I have this protocol. Like I find lost pets. Like if anybody has lost their pet, I can do a emotional release on that animal and knock them out of primal mode. Because animals know where they live, right? But if they go into primal mode because of the trauma of their owner and like, oh my gosh, Muffy is out, then they go into primal mode and they think they're dead, and then they don't try to get home. So I knock them out of primal mode. I'm going to try that technique with your friend. Your friend, she really wants to, oh my gosh, she really wants to be found. And she does have a loved one who's still looking for her, kind of. It feels like a mother or an aunt or grandmother, somebody.
Michelle?
What's that? Say that again?
Is that one of your friends or somebody, a viewer?
Well, do you remember we had Helena Nimick on? She's a medium, and she worked for the mental health and was an addiction specialist. Well, she also works with women on the street. And there's a lot of trafficked and missing women.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was with her today. And there are some missing women, and we do talk about it because some of them that have crossed do come to us.
Yeah.
And so, she would know. She would probably be able to take this information and know who it was or be able to identify it. And I'm getting a very strong sensation, Jen, as you're doing this. Just the whole top of my head is just opened right up as you're doing.
Wow.
So this
so cool.
This particular woman, she wears black a lot, and she's got black glasses and dark hair, and maybe she lost her memory of who she was or whatever. But and she wears a silver cross.
Okay.
It's not very expensive, but to her it's precious. It's her connection. Mm-hmm. So I can do a release on her, even though I don't know her, and help. And you guys can keep me updated because I don't pay attention once I do.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, the pain is excruciating.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, poor thing.
Well, we're releasing her pain too.
Oh, good. Oh.
And maybe she will remember who she is, and maybe she will connect with your friend and say, "I remember who I am." And we can go to her as three angels. And Erik is helping as well, of course. See, Erik wanted you guys to know me because he wants people to get help, and he knows I really help people. So that's why he wanted me to connect with you.
Yes, you said that. Yes.
Okay, so there's many of these souls like that, and we want to do, if we can do one, we can do 7 billion, right? So if your friend has a surge of finding these people and reconnecting them, I want to do that for her right now, if that's okay.
Okay. Yes, please.
A lot of them are giving up, and that's why they go to addictions and stuff to anesthetize themselves. I wasn't planning to go here. I don't usually do this publicly, this part. This is what I do privately instead of praying. I do this kind of thing. So
powerful.
It seems so powerful, yeah.
And this song comes in, this Christina Aguilera song comes in as a healing. Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Yes. Oh, my whole body is just tingling and vibrating.
I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. Anywhere I'll follow you. So maybe they can follow my song, and they can find your friend and get healing and find their past. Oh, so many of them have so much sexual shame. Do you mind if I release that sexual shame for them?
Please.
Yes, Man, I could feel that.
See how beautiful it is to release that pain from them?
Yes.
So a lot of them are afraid of the male energy. So I'm going to give them a protective coat so they're not at the mercy of male energy. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
It's almost like a bubble of protection where the love can come in, but the harm cannot, and they can feel safer. A lot of them have been threatened and shamed. I'm going to release the threats and the shame.
Good.
Because I know all these things. I know these threats. I know the shame. I know the humiliation. So if I can feel it, I can release it. So the noises, when I make the noises, it's simply converting the pain. Pain is an energy and sound is an energy. So I'm converting the pain into sound and just dissipating it.
If any of you guys are sensitive to energy too, you should be able to feel this because this is pretty powerful.
Yeah, a lot of the people who are listening are getting releases as well.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know if it's one or a few who are resenting their mothers and haven't been connected to their mothers because the mothers didn't protect them, or the mothers.
Oh, wow.
And there's some of the listeners, they want to be healers in their own right, but they're feeling like they're not worthy and they don't know what their purpose is. They can use the SFT.
That is so true. That is so true.
Yeah. So what they can do is they can use my SFT workshops to teach themselves how to be dynamic healers, and they don't need another modality where it's just nut and bolts for them, and they can do those on themselves until they get strong enough to know who they are. They're missing some of their energy because they've been energetically raped. So many have been energetically raped.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to go, and because a shaman can move energy, and I've been practicing making myself really strong, so I'm going to go, and for all those listeners, I'm going to go and get their energy back and gift it back to them. Is that okay? Is that a good thing?
That's true, yeah.
Okay, so is it silly if I sing because there's a song that's coming through as one of the healing songs?
Oh, yeah.
You do what you have to do, Jen. Go ahead.
And it's a Billy Joel song, but it's really sweet. I spoke to you in cautious tones. You answered me with no pretense. And still I've said too much. My silence is my self-defense. And every time I felt a rose, it seems I've only felt the thorns. Do you feel that anguish, you guys?
Yes. Oh, my God,
yeah.
I hear it.
Oh, big time.
And so it goes, and so it goes. Am I scaring your listeners too much?
No.
So I will choose to be with you, as if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too, and you can have this heart to break. So I'm going to give your listeners, a lot of them feel like they're missing something. I'm going to give them their empowerment back. It's just energy that someone else has taken from them. It's not me. I'm not doing anything. It's not like, oh, I think I'm a hot shot that I can do this for them. I just know how to do this, right?
Yes.
They don't owe me anything or anything. I won't even remember it, but I can do this in the moment. Yeah, Erik is helping. Yes, he is.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of your listeners are suffering from tangled energy they call bipolar, or they call like different mental illnesses. They put a label on it, and it's just confused the energy in their brain. So I'm going to untangle their brain energies, if that's okay.
Oh, wonderful.
there's some who can't get over their anger, but their anger is just stagnant energy from being invalidated. So I'm telling you now, listeners, I'm validating you now. I see you and I feel you, and you're so special and important. And yes, of course, you should be angry, but you don't need to be angry. And you are loved and important, and we see you. Mm-hmm. That's why you're here. We see you. You matter. Mm-hmm. Do you feel them shift, you guys?
Oh, yeah.
So my teachers want to tell you guys that a lot of people who do channeling they call themselves channelers, which is really fantastic, but they're even more, they're dynamic healers as well. And so they limit themselves if they're afraid to be as dynamic as they can be. So I just want to open up the spigot for them so they can, like, it's almost like a Reiki hookup where they can receive this energy so they can be dynamic as well. Is that okay?
Please. Yes, please.
If anybody's getting hot and sweaty, that's the energy.
That's me. I'm hot and sweaty right now.
Yeah. Ooh. So some people are shut down in their root chakra, and some of them have been playing with their kundalini energy. And if they don't have a better understanding of it, I would suggest that they leave their kundalini energy alone, because it can make them really angry unless they know how to command it. And it takes a lot of work to do that. So some of them, I want to, like, reseal the kundalini energy for them so they're not so angry and frustrated and feel helpless in that anger. Oh, some are having intestinal issues, like the diverticulosis and the colitis and whatever those things are. Bathrooms bad.
Wow.
They're storing issues in their intestinal tract, and I'm going to just release that energy for them so they can relax. They might have to, like, release, physically release one more time, but then they might relax more in their bodies. Some have, like, lower, their hips are skewed and they have lower back issues because their hips are twisted to one side, like a scoliosis, a sideways scoliosis. So I'm just going to help them, and I don't know if they will feel this. Lots of times people feel it right in real time, so they can let you know if they do it. I don't know. I'm going up the spines and releasing all the tension in their spines so they can relax.
I went to feedback and said, what's happening with you guys after the show is over, tomorrow, whatever?
Yes, please do, yes.
So some are feeling like they can't be spiritual, like they feel like they're, like, hopeless, like they can't do it. And for me, it's not about, like, getting out of your body or doing phenomenal, because I don't do phenomenal things. I just love everybody, and that's.
I really came across when I interviewed you.
Yeah, and I love you too.
Yes, you are, Jen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's the conduit for the healing to happen. So you don't need to, like, you don't have to, like, have this big presence or whatever. The more you love, the more you can just assist everyone, because we're coming to a time where everyone needs help. And when you smile at someone and they smile back, you change their brain chemistry. So you're doing healing on them. So we're all healers to each other now.
Yes.
Amazing.
Wow. Really amazing. Gosh.
What a gift for everybody tonight.
Yes, I mean, guys, y'all just got a gift, right?
Yes. I'm still doing it. I'm not telling you everything I'm doing, but there's some people who have, like, heart issues, and it's like a tension in their. Oh, you know what it is? Can I talk about past life at all, or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people who have tension and that they think they're having heart issues, it's not really heart issues. When they have tension in their left side where the heart is, it's because the left arm is the one that holds the shield. And when you die in battle, and your hand has a shield and you're wielding people off, you die in that memory of that, and you relive it all the time.
Oh, wow.
So
that's true. Wow.
So that tension that you think is your heart is not. As you're trying to live in this lifetime, you're doing battle. You're protecting yourself in that lifetime. So we do taps. Do you guys want to do a tap with me to do that one?
Yes.
And I want you to talk about how many you have. A lot of free stuff that's available to people to help them heal themselves. So I'd like to talk about that too. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, everything is basically free except the private sessions and the books.
Yeah.
But because it's not about making it's not about me getting rich or whatever. I do like you do, Elisa. I'm here to serve.
Yeah, but of course, you're here to serve.
Yeah,
exactly.
So a lot of people who have carpal tunnel in their right hand and they have like wrist issues, it's because they're wielding their sword and they're in attack mode. So if there's pains in your right arm, you're in attack mode, and if you've got pains in your left arm, it's defense mode. You're too busy defending yourself. And when you die in battle in past lifetimes, you freeze your energy in that, and you're reliving that as you're trying to go through this lifetime. And it's a lot of work to do that.
Wow.
We're going to free everyone up with one of my SFT taps. So I'm going to give you something to say. You're going to say it 3 times. We'll tap on the top of your head continuously.
Okay.
A 4th time, we'll tap it on your chest. So we're reprogramming the energy, and this bypasses the ego. So the ego doesn't know how to stop you from doing this. That's why we're tapping. And then you set it in your body at the chest, and then you set it in the abdomen, and you do it 3 on the head, once on the chest, and once in the abdomen, okay?
Okay.
And this is the tap. We lay down our sword and shield in all moments.
Lay down our sword in all moments.
We lay down our sword and shield in all moments.
Yes. While you tap, keep doing.
We lay down our sword and shield in all moments. We lay down our sword and shield in all moments.
Now your chest.
We lay down our sword.
Lay down our sword and shield in all moments.
Now your abdomen.
We lay down our sword and shield in all moments.
So the thing is, I've been doing these taps and for humanity for the last 12, 13 years. So you notice how, like, we're not at war, we're not escalating on all that. So we've been, like, dissipating that energy for everyone. And so that's what I do around the clock all the time, besides, the work I do and what I put up there and stuff. I'm actually doing it behind the scenes, and different people are doing them as well. You can like get them off my blog, Genuine Healing with a J, on my Facebook page or my YouTube page. And then you do the taps, and everyone who does this, we uplift humanity. We like peel it away one issue at a time.
That's amazing.
So you want to know another issue that like the doctors don't know what it is, but it's a past life issue?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of them.
Yeah. So people who get cold hands and feet, you know how they get real cold and their hands get blue?
Oh, yeah.
That's from freezing to death in a past lifetime.
Oh,
wow. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I died and almost died a couple of years ago too. Man.
That's right.
Wow.
So do you want to do a tap for that?
Yeah.
Sure.
So these images I see of people's Akashic records are engrams. So what you do is like you're reliving your Akashic record of freezing to death. We can do this tap. We remove all engrams of freezing to death in all moments.
Is that with our head?
3 on the head, 1's on the chest, and 1's on the abdomen. Yep.
Okay.
We remove.
Okay.
We
remove all engrams.
Remove all engrams of freezing to death in all moments.
Yes.
We remove all engrams of freezing to death in all moments. We remove all engrams of freezing to death in all moments.
Yes.
Did you do your chest and then the abdomen?
Okay, so
No.
chest now.
Oh, I did 3 times in the head. Oh.
Yep, now do the chest.
Okay, so the chest.
We remove
all engrams of freezing to death
in all moments.
In all moments.
And now you
remove all engrams.
Remove all engrams of freezing to death
in all moments.
In all moments. You do just 1 for each, or do you use 3 in the head?
3 in the head, 1 on the chest, because that's where you're reprogramming your whole energy system.
Yeah. 3 and then 1 and 1. Okay, got it.
So there's a lot of people there who have low thyroids and their endocrine system, and they're just exhausted. You know why that happens?
Why?
Because in a past lifetime they're running for their life. They're like they're in the fight for their life. They're being murdered, and they're reliving that at the same time as they're trying to just. And so all their energy is like used up.
Oh
from
yeah.
That past. So when you like do these taps, you free up all. Yeah, I'm good. But you can find them all on my pages, my books, and everything. They're all there. Oh, you want another freaky one?
Yes, I want a freaky one. We're in freaky mood.
Okay, so here's a real freaky one. It's like lots of times, you know how people are afraid of being buried alive?
Yes.
Being afraid of, that's because in past lifetimes they were dead, but they didn't realize it because they were so terrified of going to hell. They didn't feel worthy of heaven, so they stayed with the body. Now they're in their astral body, aware, but they're trapped in the physical body. Because I had this actually happen to me. I was dead, but I didn't know it. So I thought I was alive, but I was with the body, and it took a long time for my consciousness to like evaporate from the physical body. So what happens is when your body is put into the ground, you're put into the ground because you go with it.
Wow.
And then you can like have the experience of like having things crawl on you and watch your own body decay. It's really, I know it's horrible. So, but as bad as that is, one of the experiences, you know how people are literally in their head too much and they think too much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of those people are the same people who don't like to be scrutinized. They don't like to be watched. They don't like to be around people.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is they were executed in a past lifetime. They were beheaded in a public execution.
Oh.
And what happened was they was in that terror. They didn't transcend naturally, so they stayed with the body. But because it was so traumatic, and your senses are your eyes, your ears, your mouth, they're all up in your head. They didn't stay in the whole body. They literally, their soul stayed trapped in the head. So they were decapitated. Their soul was trapped in the head. Then the executioner takes them by the hair, holds them up, and shows them to everyone and displays their head. And so they have to experience that, and it's really one of the most traumatic things to have happen in a
Wow, that's amazing. God.
But you see why it would be important to like unpeel all these things? Like if someone's afraid of something, usually it's something that already happened to them. It's not something that's going to happen. So all they have to do is figure out what they're afraid of and do some tasks around it, and then they can free themselves and they can free up all that energy that they were afraid of, and then use that for their sole purpose, and they can use it to be more kind and helpful and giving to other people.
Yeah,
so Jen, when somebody's coming to you, do they know, like, are they just struggling through emotions in their life? Do they know exactly what they're coming to you for, or are they just drawn to you and you know what to do?
Great question. Wow.
Well, it's funny because ever since I was just a massage therapist, I've always got people who say, I was at my end of my rope and I was meditating and praying and I just thought of you. And then people who don't know me and they hear me, they say, I don't know why, but I had to have a session with you. I don't know what I need to do. And then they have a session with me and it opens up their energy. And you know what I figured out is what a session with me is like? Is I'm able to, and I don't know, I mean, I've been trained in lifetimes to do this. I know I have. So when someone comes to me for a session, it's almost like, you know, between lifetimes where you like get to go over an inventory of your life and all the things that happened, and you can fix it for the next lifetime. When people have a session with me, it's like we do that before they don't have to die to do that. They can do it with me in a session, and we can go over their life and comb out the things that need to be fixed, and then we can give them the upgrade so they don't have to cross over, and they can have that reboot.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, Erik was just saying when you were working on us there, he was saying how when you had just said, you know, about the ego and everything, and how this is not ego the way at all with your healing, and that's very obvious and apparent. But he says that this is what it looks like when you're naturally surrendering to your true divine ability. There's so much within us that is ready to let loose, and for you to be able to share this example with us and be able to share this with the world is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it helps us all see that as well.
So what I do, everyone can do, but it's like I have nothing to lose because I have nothing to live for as far as like family responsibilities. It's all about the work. I know. I don't mean that it's a sad kind of thing.
No.
But you know what I mean. It's all about the work, and it's like you know the resistance. You know how hard it is to be here. And the fact that you guys are receiving this right now is a miracle. And thank you, Erik, and thank you guys for doing this, because
it's just beautiful.
This is the precipice of higher consciousness when everyone can, like, it's not about gaining things. So people think spirituality is about gaining this and ability and gift.
No.
It's emptying out everything.
Yeah.
It's for stepping away and remembering. and regaining power. Your innate power, I guess.
Well, I have an aversion to the word power just because I know what power is. But but it's the same thing, but I call it empowerment because it's it's
right, self-empowerment. Getting your own power, not anybody else, not taking anybody's power away. Exactly.
Truth, our truth.
Yeah. Do you feel the listeners feeling the gratitude? So the gratitude, when gratitude comes in, it's actually literally opening your energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can feel. I'll tell you, Jen, that was incredible because body vibrated. My crown chakra was wide open. I could feel it was just like being pulled wide open. And as you were talking, especially in the back area, the work you were doing there, I could feel energy going up and down my spine.
Yeah.
And it's like very, very intense there. And I feel lighter. I feel a lift.
Good.
I'm sure everybody is feeling that right now.
Well, I think we need to have you on again, girl, because we need to talk about have another time with you if it's okay with you, and talk about your books and other things.
I'm proud of the books because all of my books are self-help books. None of them talk about me at all. The only one
you don't have any book about your experience with the guy who had it for that long?
No, actually, I started to write it, and it's like, no, everything I write is for the reader. It's nothing is about me. The only thing that's gratuitous is the poetry book, and not even that, because that helps some people release through the poetry.
I think you should. People need to know what brought you here, and I think that is a book that needs to be written and perhaps even made into a movie. It is the story is that incredible.
You know what? When I was
maybe you don't want to revisit it. I mean, that's certainly possible. I wouldn't.
No,
I mean, I understand that.
I'm fine with that because what's interesting is when I was locked up, starved, and tortured, and people ask, could you leave? At the beginning, I could have left, but in my mind, my teacher said I had to be there, and I was playing out the scenario in my mind, and as he's walking me through the torture of the day, I was in my head, and I was like talking. I was on an interview show with Oprah, and she was saying, well, if you could get away, why? And she was being real cool. Why didn't you leave when you could? And I made this joke. I go, because I was losing so much weight, I wanted to get down a couple more sizes before I left.
And she probably said, well, where's the rest of this guy? I need his help. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? And then, but then it got to a point where I knew. I mean, I didn't have any healing abilities that I knew of back then. I didn't know I was going to write all those books, but I knew I would be renowned, and I knew I would be helping, and it was important for me to do whatever I did there to get to this point of today and beyond.
Well, I mean, yours is a typical story of an earth angel, and so many of us who are earth angels have so much hardship, and we get beaten down, and we get into the cycle of self-loathing, and we believe our captors, and it doesn't have to be the kind of captors you have, but we all can have different types of captors in our lives, whether it's a narcissistic person in relationship, etc. So I think your story would be important, and I have a literary agent for you. I got a publisher. I mean, if you want to do that, you of course have your own, but yeah, I think it should be a movie too, and maybe a documentary. Maybe Paula would want to do a doc. She's doing our documentary in internet too. So I'll send this to Paula. And Paula, you're listening because you're my YouTube manager. So she's gonna put this on YouTube. All right, that's great. All right, so do you want to share your contact information, and then we'll take a couple of calls from callers?
Sure. So my website is Genuine Healing with a J. So Genuine Healing, and then my YouTube page. You can like sit in on sessions on my Genuine Healing page. Oh, and my new podcast. It's lighthearted. It's Jen and her jammies, and it's like with my I have a partner. He's like a male counter to what I do, and he's amazing, and he's balancing out business in the world so that businesses are moving from taking to being helpful to the individual. So we work on that together, but it balances out the male and the female energies in the world. So just by listening to that.
And Jen, I just like the title anyway. That just draws you in. Y'all put your jammies on and your big fluffy bedtime slippers when you watch it. So I did post that on my social media for all of you guys to see. All right, so this is only part one of Jen Ward, right? We're going to have you again.
Yes.
For whatever you want, more healing. Tell us the status of your book. You're going to start writing starting tomorrow. I'm kidding. And,
they're all written.
I got a great editor for you that I got from Fiverr. She's awesome. But anyway, you can contact me if you want that. She's super reasonable. If you need editing, whatever. But I do. Thank God. Spell check. But every time I spell check my name, it ends up being Elisa Madhouse. So whatever.
It's funny.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and start taking callers, and I got the first one here with who is a 920 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, Lisa. It's Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. What's up? Michelle.
I had sent in.
Go ahead.
Michelle. Yeah, Michelle and Mitchell. Yes.
Yeah.
My son.
My son too.
Yeah,
I claim him. Okay. He's
you
partly
what?
my son. He's partly my son. I part claim him because I adore.
Sometimes I do feel that.
Concerned with his welfare. Yes, I've always been.
Yeah, I feel like I should contact Jen in regards to Mitchell. I think that she could help with his self-confidence and whatnot, but that's a very long story, and you were very helpful and stuff.
I see him in energy. There's two strains that make him, I don't know how to explain it, but there's two strings that make him unconfident. They're like pulling on him, two strings, and it's like those stressors need to be released, and he'll relax and feel safer in the world. I don't know how to describe it.
Wow.
It's a very complicated situation, so I understand why you can't really describe it, because I have a hard time describing it. But Elisa and Erik have been working with him, and it's been very helpful. But he's still got some work to do. And my situation was that I had written in. I had asked the question of Erik whether or not I should be saving a relationship that I had that was my best friend. And I actually lost my best friend and Mitchell at the same time in my life, which was life-shattering. It was devastating to me. So I healed it with Mitchell.
You lost Mitchell to his mental illness? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. Yep. And then my best friend just pulled away and completely shut me out, and I don't know why. So it's really complicated there, too.
What's your first
name?
Mine? No, I know yours. No, your best friend?
Michelle. Oh, my best friend is Joy.
Joy. For some reason, I was thinking April. Okay, got it. Okay,
she was born in April, if that means anything.
Oh, I'm not that good of a medium. But I think I'm thinking of somebody with a similar question. All right, go ahead. So Erik or Jen,
can I suggest something?
Yes.
Sure.
This is the first set of protocols that the adepts gave me, is when there's a relationship and you don't know if you should end it or not. It's like the protocol is called the energetic cleanse. It used to be called the energetic divorce, to get rid of a rapist or a stalker, but you would use it with anyone. So you go to my website and download the energetic cleanse. It's an SFT worksheet. You put Joy's name in every blank and do those taps just like we did those. So you'll get a release. Everything that you've taken from her, everything she's dumped on you, you'll give back. You'll take back what's yours. And if it's a love bond, it'll be better than ever. And if it was karma, it'll just separate and you won't feel bad at all. It'll just be complete.
Oh,
well,
wow.
That's comforting to know. This has been going on for years. This isn't something, that's just been over the last few months. I've been going through this for many years.
It's lifetime.
And I'm just tired.
It's been lifetime.
Yeah, we've been in lifetimes together. But I just don't know if in this lifetime, our relationship served its purpose and now I should be done with it. It's happened with me many times. My life theme is actually rejection. And I've had it through my whole life, all of my friends, and it's been terrible. It's just a horrible thing to go through. And I had a black night of the soul a few years back, and now I'm just I'm getting my footing, and I feel really good about myself again, and I just, want to move forward. And if I'm supposed to let it go, I want to let it go.
These are things that you've been grieving over. There's been some grief involved in these losses. Losses of your identity, losses of your self-worth, loss of that relationship, loss of Mitchell, mental health.
Yes.
So Erik, what do you say to all that?
Well, he's showing he says, hi, Michelle. He also says, Mom, I love you. He keeps saying, I love you.
Oh, I forgot
he's
to
like,
say that.
He's making sure he says it to you.
Oh.
Ask him if he hears me talking to him. I talk to him often.
Yes. Oh, yes, you do.
Okay. Good.
so, well, first of all, he shows me the no communication, and he shows me the door being closed, and he says that, he goes, if you look at all the relationships that are, when you talk about the losses or the relationships that you felt rejection with, he says, let's bring it back to the root of the rejection that you felt within yourself. Because he says that's what the teaching is in these losses. It has to do with the acceptance in yourself, because he says it's vibrational. He also says that there's vibrational shifting that's happened with this relationship. And he's not saying that the door is forever closed, but it is closed right now. It is closed right now. And he says that there's, so did you feel that you were, because he's like saying there's like a procrastination of decision. So there was something on her part. Yes, because there was not truth. There was like a face that was being shown, and he says, and a different face behind closed doors. Like you weren't getting the same person. And so this happening was necessary for you and is necessary for you to be able to heal, or you to be able to take your power, because when you stand in your power, and Erik says when you, he says, look at the, when we're looking for worth from other relationships, and he says it's hard because we see ourselves in other people, and we want to be accepted by other people, and when for whatever reason we don't understand why it dissolved and we see ourselves in that pattern over and over again, we keep looking at ourselves feeling it's with us. There's something we've done wrong. We're bad. We're not lovable. But he says that the basis is, he says, that's within you. He goes, so this is the acceptance of yourself and realizing that it's really not been about you, but it's been vibrationally who you've been attracting that have come into your life that you've made agreements with over lifetimes to be able to work this out and to be able to take your power back. And you are a healer. You do have communication and healing. And so there's a big lesson in a lot of what you've experienced, and you haven't had things easy. You've not had things easy. And so he says, there's a really big cleansing period that's happening right now. And he says, do take some time. He says some practical stuff would be to write, to be able to express some of your emotions, to be able to create some closure in those relationships. And he says not just this relationship, but in other relationships that you've had, that you felt that the door was closed or that you didn't have full understanding or that you felt rejection. And he says create some writing or express that energy, because he's showing the throat and the throat being turned. So it's like there's no closure. There's no communication, no closure, no expression. So he says expression would be very helpful for you to feel a sense of relief. And then leave it in the hands when you surrender. And he says, and then you leave it in the hands, and like Jen was saying with the tapping, and then you leave it to what needs to happen from there. It's out of your hands.
Michelle, we talked on the phone a lot. Well, not a lot, but some. And I always felt like you were a super powerful person that just has not completely realized the extent of her own power, her own empowerment. And maybe this is the spiritual contract that being rejected by others, so that you can feel like, fuck that, man. I'm my own shit, man. I'm my own shit. I'm all that in a bag of chips. So if they were rejecting me, it's their loss and my gain. So I feel like
that's kind of what I did with Joy, though. I walked away. I don't text her. I don't call her. I don't ask her to do things. Yeah. And the thing is, I just don't know if our whole relationship, I knew her for over 20-some years. I just don't know if our relationship was complete and utter farce, or did something happen over the last couple of years?
Not a farce. Michelle, I'm going to share something with you. And Erik's encouraging me to say this, but I had a best friend of over 30 years, and I had to end that friendship. And it wasn't because I didn't love her, but because there were some very drastic changes because of my own experiences and my own awakening. And it was something that I had to do for my own sanctity, my own energy. And it was very painful, and it created a lot of pain for her. And it was very hard. It was a very hard decision. And like Erik is saying, sometimes we do things that just because it's good for us doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, or that it's not difficult, or that we don't question it. Your relationship was not a farce. It served its purpose. It gave you teaching. Yeah. There's value in there. And he says, visit that value. But he says, don't hold on to... Sorry.
I want to say to everybody out there that this is a really important call for more than just Michelle. So thank you, Michelle, for calling. I'm going to try to take another caller, but this has been probably very valuable for a lot of people. And
well, thanks. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Take care. Wow.
I always thought she was a very strong woman. Okay, we got somebody from the 209 area code. How you doing?
This is Bonnie. This is Lisa.
Hey, Bonnie. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So, tell us.
I think I'm fine.
Well, let me be the judge of that. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, happy to have you, sweetie. I'm such an idiot sometimes. Oh, God. Okay. Go ahead.
I just hope that that Erik can tell me that my son has transitioned, and he took his life last year. He was 21. So.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
It's all still very new.
Oh, God, I know.
What's your son's name?
Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan. That's right, yeah.
Was Ethan an outdoorsy soul?
Yes, he loved the outdoors.
Mm-hmm. He's showing a beautiful picture of being outdoors, of being able to soak up nature, letting you know that, Mom, I'm okay. I've gotten to exactly where I need to be. I'm okay. I'm taken care of. There's a lot of hard truths. He says there's a lot that you've had to face in this last year that has been so painful. He's aware of that. Even information. I don't know how that makes sense to you, but information that you've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. He's also just acknowledging that there's nothing that you could have done to change the scenario. He's taking it out of your hands.
Yeah.
He's also saying that he was carrying, he wasn't able to be, it's like he was being two different people.
Yeah.
He was being two different people. And so he's just acknowledging that, I wasn't, like, this was me. I wasn't able to be myself. I had to be different people. And so he's letting you know that he's more himself now, that this is the truth. This is his truth.
Well, Ethan, give her some signs. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, give her some signs and communicate with her. It'd be awesome.
He says music, Mom. Music.
Yes. Yeah.
He says, I speak to you in music.
Oh. We only got 20 seconds left, guys. So I will say, I'm so sorry I had to cut you off, sweetie. Sorry, Bonnie, but you can call back in next week, too. And Jen Ward, thank you so much for this part one of Jen
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, guys.
Genuine
Healing. Awesome.
.com and thehealing-art.com. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Love you, everybody.